Shabbat Shalom, right? Shabbat Shalom. Nawathan, Kol Haloim La, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash, right? Peaceful Sabbath. Giving all praises to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Double honors unto the elder apostles, the elder bishops, and the head elders of all the camps of Great Millstone GMS who do rule well, who I learned this 100% truth from. Peace, salutations, and blessings be upon the house of David, the hopeful elect, scattered abroad. It's your brother Tazapanya, back at it again with a quick hit through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Lord willing, is edifying to the elect. I quoted a scripture in the book of Ezekiel regarding the sword is within and the pestilence and famine without. I'm about to play a video from this Full Spectrum Survival. It's only 12 minutes long. And he goes into a meeting that he had with cops and the talks that they're having and how they're preparing themselves and their families for what's to come. But we have to understand, as Israelites who have faith on Yahweh Shai and depend on, or should I say, give diligence to make our calling and election sure, know that the only way out of this unprecedented time, as the scriptures call Jacob's trouble, is through this truth, is through the covering of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. So without further ado, I'm gonna let this play again, another spiritual commentary. This is what I feel like when I do is most edifying. I'm big on the MOTB, Jacob's Trouble, World War III, current events, things of that nature. And I'll also, go into some edifying and exhortation videos as well. But, for today's going to be a spiritual commentary. Lord willing, this is edifying. So we're going to start it right now.
I'm a little bit more dressed up than usual. Kelly and I just got back from a contact in law enforcement, and we were discussing what they believe the next stage of this social and environmental crisis is going to be in the United States of America. Let me give you a breaking warning. Every cop out there knows what time it is. No, none of them are dumb to the fact that we are facing a social breakdown.
So look, right? So if these centurions, you know what I'm saying, these slave patrol, because we all know that cops, you should know that the Fraternal Order of Police and things of that nature evolved from slave patrol with the Southern Kingdom starting, trying to get runaway slaves and things of that nature, actually taking care of the slave master's property. And that's pretty much all that they do, to serve and protect. Who are they serving? The international banking families. What are they protecting? Their assets. All right. But if they know what time it is, how come you, Jake, don't know what time it is, man? All right, let's go to the book of Romans. This is the book of Romans, chapter 13, starting at 11. It says, and that knowing the time. See, you're supposed to be knowing the time. Okay? Emphasis on the word know. All right? In Proverbs, it says, for wisdom is the principal thing, and with all thy getting, get understanding. All right? So you're supposed to be understanding the times that we in right now, man. All right? Isaiah 33:6, for wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. The strength of his salvation, for the fear of the Lord is his treasure. You see? So knowledge, knowing the time is going to keep you stable. And we know what times we in. All hell about to break loose. The shit is about to hit the fan. There's going to be a major financial earthquake from everything that I'm seeing. And I'm filtering it through the scriptures. And I speak as a man, but through the spirit before 2024 hit, man. All right? Verses Romans 13:11 again. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. You see? So if these cops is knowing what time it is, but Jake out there, 2/3 of our people don't know what time it is, that means the Most High put a stumbling block on you, man. It is better to be in the house of mourning than in a house of feasting, man. We supposed to be in a sorrow, somber state of mind as we're preparing for all hell to break loose, the wrath that is coming upon the world, man. The wrath of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. One more script and I'll let it play again. We're gonna go to the book of Amos, all right, in the minor prophets of what they like to call it. The book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 6. It says, "Shall it be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid?" You see, and remember, the prophets is the one blowing the trumpet. See, and we're trying to make you afraid, you Jake out there, because we persuade men by the terror of the Lord. Okay? Isaiah, what is that, 53 or 58? Cry aloud, spirit, lift up that voice as a trumpet. Show my people Jacob their sins, right? It says, shall there be evil in a city? Remember, evil means bad times, compound word, eve and ill. And the Lord hath not done it. See, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is the one that's going to be doing this evil, this bad time that is about to hit. That these carnal centurions, slave patrol, they know what's up, whatever nation that they may be, but they on the wrong side of the coin, man. They worship the image of the beast. Okay, all right. So, again, we gotta wake up, like I said, and really only the elect is going to wake up. All right, the elect is only going to wake up and understand that our salvation is nearer than we believe. All right, because there's only a couple of prophecies to come before Yahweh Shah delivers his elect, which of the nation of Israel.
All of the cohesiveness that has kept our country together and countries of the Western world are about to be ripped apart at the threads.
Which that's the Lord. Think I've come to send peace upon earth, nay, but rather division. So yeah, the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is the one that is ripping this to threads, the fabric of what he thinks that keeps everybody united. The Most High is not with that. All right, the only uniting he's with is with the house of Judah and the house of Israel. And that's only going to start first with the elect, and then in the kingdom, all Israelites will be unified because we'll have the new covenant, which is these new bodies with the laws downloaded inside of them, so to speak.
They know it, we know it, and now we're just waiting for the catalyst that sends us into that direction. They're getting ready in their own homes, and that's a little bit what we talked about. What they are doing personally versus what the department is doing and what they expect our local area to do. Inside their own homes, they are telling their wives to get ready. They are telling their mothers and fathers to get ready. And they are telling their children to get ready. We talked about sending their kids off to the range with them. We talked about spending time at the range with their family members. Guys, we live in a very self-defense, tool-heavy environment. There are going to be so many lead shots around the country, so much brass smacking the ground in the United States of America when this finally pops off, that it's going to look like a war has ravaged this country for the last, 2-3 years. You will literally see the gutters of your streets littered with brass and blood stains.
Remember, it said the blood shall be up to the bridle, roughly paraphrasing. All right, and many shall be slain of the Lord in Isaiah 66. Okay, so this thing is about to get real, unprecedented. Like you said, there's about 3 to 5 guns per person in America. If there's 330, let's say, million people in America, approximately times 3, is about 1 billion guns here, man. And who knows how much ammo.
That's what they're concerned about. So every cop that we are talking to is getting into a sort of like mini riot control mentality. They are prepared for those larger events to take place, and they're telling us to get ready.
So look, they're taking their kids to the range, most likely Edomites and things of that nature, and that's how they're getting ready. But how are we getting ready? The elect. We are staying in the word. All right. We are praying without ceasing. All right. We are gathering ourselves together with those of the like mind, the one body, those that have the truth, that we believe has been given unto the apostles of Great Millstone. Okay, that's what we're doing. And that's what's going to keep us stable in our times, not how well you can shoot a gun. All right, that's not our blessing. Okay.
We need to take these warnings to heart because we see this coming down the pipeline. A large percentage of our population.
Yeah, we see these coming down the pipe. We say that all the time. All right. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple go on and are punished.
Believes that we are at the point of civil war. An even larger percentage of the population believes that this empire, the United States dollar, and its ruling capabilities around our planet are at an end. And we are starting to see China, Russia, and other countries bolster change. And this change is going to react negatively for our future. So these cops are getting ready. And what we talked about was a little bit of training that we could do together in our local area. And that's what building a local operating force is about. It doesn't have to be only police officers. It doesn't have to be only SWAT guys. It doesn't have to be only military, not only EMTs, not only doctors, not only electricians, not only plumbers. You need to have a little bit of every trade skill, and especially the ones that will be most necessary at the beginning of the breakdown, that is going to help you and your family have the best chance of survival. When I tell you that they expect things to get bad, I'm not even telling you how bad they are explaining them to me. They're talking about the current escalation of violence. They're telling me story by story, without giving away case information, about what they are seeing right now versus what they have seen in their decade on the force. And what they're seeing today is worse than I would ever want to tell you here, because YouTube would say you can't even talk about things that are that bad on the platform. And so instead, we just have to understand that what's being seen in law enforcement, what's being seen in the military, because you remember on yesterday's video, we talked about how the U.S. military is telling their people to get their families ready. Everybody else knows what time it is. Everybody else knows how ready they should have been.
So the 2/3 don't know, but everybody else, these heathen know everybody but fucking Jake, man. My people doth not consider.
Now, when I asked what should I tell people to get ready at home, they started off with, of course, because they're in law enforcement, your ability to hold on to your life. They said, if you can't hold your life for 3 days, what does water matter? And that's absolutely true. If you can't keep your family safe for a 3-day period, what does everybody dying from thirst after 3 days really matter? And so how do you do that? Well, we talked about things like current surveillance cameras. We talked about some of the pitfalls of local environmental factors. And then we talked about weapons. Now, he said that you have to take into consideration every person going into this conflict. If they're not armed before, they're going to watch people be destroyed, and they're going to arm up. And then they're going to be the people who are shooting blindly into the night. And they expect apartment complexes to be razed. They expect entire city areas to be basically torn to the ground, burned to the ground. Now, what he said you wouldn't expect is that the urban areas are expected to be some of the most well-protected and untouched areas. Why?
So look what he just said, right? And then you're going to understand why I named the topic of this video the way I did.
Let me tell you why. In the urban areas, places where they have had to deal with violence, law enforcement issues, other enforcement issues, the government getting into their daily business. They've had to deal with corner drug dealers. They've had to deal with watching people's lives fall apart. Those areas and the people who live there are used to it. And so it's not going to be this great shock. Those people aren't going to be shooting blindly into the night. They're going to be putting well-placed rounds down the range. They know because they've already done it. They know because that's the life they live today. Now, that was a surprise to me because I said, well, you would think maybe those environments would be the worst. And he backed up some other information we have seen to say, no, this is going to be the place to be. Now, what I'm not telling you, of course, is that the quickest spark, excuse me, of social unrest to run to your urban areas. That's a good way to get harmed. That's a good way to be targeted. You don't want to look out of place. What you need is a place of your own. Now, if you're already in an urban area, you fit in there, don't change a thing. Don't think you need to run to some white picket fence, behind gates environment. Who gets attacked in a fight against the haves and the have-nots? The haves never come at the have-nots. They don't go to their home because they already have that. What do they want from that home? The have-nots go to the homes of the haves. You want your house to look like worse than your neighbor's house. Maybe it's abandoned. Maybe no one lives there. Maybe you have some indications that it's dark and foreboding. And so when your house looks like it's not welcome, make it not welcome to people who want to come do you harm.
So look, so basically what he's saying is that, and then when we understand, right, there's going to be a lot of martial law, a lot of trying to bring order to the chaos that's happening in the inner cities. The countryside, the rural areas, is going to be pretty much wild, wild west. You see what I'm saying? Because it's not going to be as heavily military police type force in these areas. All right. So, yes, there's going to be people dying, let's say by the modern day sword, the gun in the inner cities, but it's going to be so quick to a point where people is going to be giving themselves up to the rationing, going to the FEMA camps, going to, voluntarily. All this stuff is going to be happening voluntarily. The people on the outside that so-called carnally prepared themselves for this situation have that pride as if they can get themselves out of that situation by the sword, all right, by the gun. Okay, so just like how he said, from talking to the police looking at information and having statistics behind him, the inner cities is going to be somewhat safer than the outside. So I have Ezekiel 7:15, and it lines up with the scriptures because this is what the scripture says. And so this is how you know you can't match none shall want her mate. You can't match this book with any other book out there, man. The Bible is 100%, all right, straight to the point, real, live, and direct from the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. This is Ezekiel chapter 7. We're going to start at verse 14. It says, they have blown the trumpet. Who? The prophets, man. The Most High set up men to lift up their voice, man, to let them know that war is coming, because that's the customs of our people. All right. There was certain sounds of the trumpet that, let people know to come to the tabernacle of congregation or to go to war. All right. Even to make all ready. And that's what we're trying to do, man. All right. Just like the wise virgins, man. All right. They was making themselves ready by constantly trimming, their lamps, keeping the oil in it. And the foolish ones didn't want to do that. All right. And that's a representative of the 2/3, them foolish virgins, man. All right. But it says, but none goeth to the battle. You see, Yahushua said, the harvest is plenty, but the laborers are few, man. Just like Elder Apostle Tahar says in the spirit, man, there should be millions of camps all over the goddamn place in Babylon the Great, America, man. All right, pushing out this word. All right, but our people just look and don't want to do nothing. It says, "For my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof," and that's what the prophets is saying, man. All right, the Most High is going to bring wrath upon this place, but this is the point, verse 15. The sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. See, so just like how he said, all right, it's going to be safer when he's talking about gun violence in the inner cities because of how things are set up. They got the railroads that is blocking off certain things in the city, in the ghettos and things in the inner city, in the urban areas. You see what I'm saying? But all these off-grid niggas, so just like how he's about to bring up, I'm going to let it play even more, all right? But the have-nots is going to go to the haves. Most of the have-nots is in the cities. So when shit hits the fan, there's going to be a mass exodus of people in the inner cities going to these off-grid rural countryside type places, man. All right. And he's going to explain, and niggas was like, all right, well, I'm waiting for them. I'm ready. they gonna get their head blown off. You know how redneck Edomites talk that got, they crib out there in the mountains or whatever it may be. So, but niggas is gonna scheme and plan and get more dudes because they see you got what they want. You see what I'm saying? You a have. You've been prepping and doomsday prepping this whole time. You see what I'm saying? Getting all this money, using your blessing to think that you could bypass your way from the wrath of the Lord. And there's going to be a bunch of people out there ready to run it. You see what I'm saying? All up on you. And same thing with Jake. Jake trying to do that same thing. Envying the oppressor. Oh, Jake want to get his family and get a nice little 10 acres, 25 acres, 50 acres, 100 acres out in the middle of West Bubble fuck. You see what I'm saying? Not saying you going off doing it, but I'm just saying, you know, there's some Jake out there that think that they got all this money and all of this type of prepping and that nothing gonna come to them. If the Most High got you, punch is ready for you to clock out, he gonna punch your clock, man. All right. So it says, "He that is in the field shall die by the sword." You see, the field is symbolic. Well, it's literal. It's for the countryside, the rural areas, and he that is in the city. You see what I'm saying? In the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him, because there's going to be all of your stores going to be ransacked. Niggas out there got food. They growing, they gardens and things of that nature. They gonna be good money when it comes to that. But when it comes to gunshots and things of that nature, yeah, niggas is gonna be, oh, you got an arsenal, we got arsenals too. You got a generator, we want that, and we gonna come with a Marauder team, A team, SWAT on some real GTA Call of Duty type shit. Four people with 500 rounds. You see what I'm saying? And it's only you trying to take care of your wife and 2 kids. Oh no, it's slow. It's slow for y'all. You feel me? So niggas in the city, because of the rationing, the no food, people gonna be dying. There ain't gonna be nobody to bury them. All these diseases is gonna be getting crazy, and this is how people gonna be getting sick. The electricity not gonna work. You can't flush your toilet. The pestilence is gonna get crazy, man. It's gonna be, you feel me? It's a civilization, a social breakdown, like you said, has started, man. All right, and it's gonna look crazy.
Now, what I don't suggest is people putting, signs out front that say, looters will be whatever, or, anything like that. I want surprise. You want surprise when anybody is coming at you. If they know what to expect, they're going to formulate a plan before they get there. And when you give your enemy time to build that plan, you have just knocked down your chance of survival. Instead, you can do other things to make your house foreboding. Make it not look like it's a welcome environment to looters, to people bringing chaos or violence to it. That means that in your house, you want no light peering from the outside. You do want cameras up. They don't know whether someone's inside watching these cameras or you're watching them from another location. They don't know whether you've got, an app on your phone that says, oh, somebody's at my house, or if you're sitting on the other side of that door, unwelcoming and ready for that person to breach that door. What you're going to make the bad guy do is say, you know what, I don't think that's a good place to go. Instead, Joe and Susie down the street, they've got their generator running, they've got their lights shining. In fact, Joe's out there barbecuing right now, and I know Joe has weapons in his house because the back of his Jeep says that he's an advocate of different rights. And, instead of having children, little stick figure children, he's got different rifles up there on the back of his Jeep. He's got a camo duck in the front of it, and he is ready for battle. The problem is they know Joe sleeps. Maybe Joe sleeps alone. Maybe Susie doesn't stay home at night. What they know is that's a target that, sure, he might have a weapon, but Joe has other weapons, most likely. Joe has a generator that they want. Joe has targeting things inside. Now, if you take Joe's house, which looks inviting, maybe at the risk of harm, they're just going to bring more guys. Let me be inclusive. They're going to bring more guys and girls with guns. They're going to bring more people of guns, and they're going to roll Joe's house. Now, if you live next to Joe, and your house is dark on the outside, but they see the infrared lights in your cameras. Maybe there's a car in the driveway, maybe there's not. Maybe there's areas of your porch that can't be seen because you've taken the lights out. Who will they go attack? It's Joe's house, not yours. So prepare your home. We hear that a lot. People should prepare their home, prepare their spirit, prepare their mind. That's the takeaway from the cop. If you don't start right now, living like you're going into a riot, that's what these guys are doing. They're training. While we are watching football, they're training. While we are thinking about where to go out to eat, they're thinking about how much protein they need to pack in to build back the muscle they just broke down. So when the other guys...
You see what I'm saying? So, again, we filter all of this through the scriptures. So while 2/3 of our own people, you so-called Negro, Latino, Native Americans, which are true nationalities, Hebrew Israelites, you see what I'm saying? While you rolling up your blunt, you see what I'm saying, about to go, you know, like he said, watch the Cowboys or something. You see what I'm saying? Jake is over here watching prophet videos, or he's making a video, or he's having holy conversation with the Akim. You see what I'm saying? He's watching a breakdown. He's praying to get understanding, you know, searching the scriptures like the Church of Berea. These are the things that the elect is doing, man. Preparing himself spiritually for the days that are ahead, because that's the only way out of here. And he's, you know, giving characteristics of Esau as if he could, you know, fight his way through this thing. But see, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, because we fight a spiritual fight.
Are preparing for war, and we're preparing to be slaughtered or taken to the slaughterhouse. Who wins that war? These are the questions we need to start asking. So they said, prepare your home, prepare self-defense, and then prepare to repair your home, prepare to re-engage your self-defense. A lot of people might have a 6-shooter, no speed clips, no ability to reload. They might not be used to fast reloading. So that 6-shooter gives them 6 tries, and then their life. So we have these different things happening, and with them, we don't have re-engagement talked about. Repairing your home. Somebody breaks open your window, how are you going to quickly repair it? These are the things we have to consider. Start today. There isn't much time left, according to the people we're talking to, and I hope we make even more contacts, because what comes next is scary. What are you seeing in your area? Is crime all but gone? Nobody's doing anything, nobody's harming anyone? You live in a utopia? Let me know the zip code, because I'm on the way. Stay safe, everyone, and remain prepared.
You see, it is funny. I had to play that last part because you see what I'm saying? That's what people, you know, the Jake is at the tail. You know, the heathens, it's primarily Esau, the top of the heathen. He's at the head. You see? So there's going to be a lot of people going to these so-called utopias. You see what I'm saying? Which don't live in the city, right? They live in the field. And that's why the sword is without. And then Jake that like to be living in, you know, go live with the white people and all of that, the so-called white people, which are, you know, the Edomites. They're going to be going through it as well. But I'm going to leave it on this preset. Do another video, because I didn't do a video yesterday, because we're supposed to be in the spirit of at least doing a video a day, man. This is 1 Peter chapter 1 and verse 13. Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahushua HaMashiach. All right? So we're supposed to be in a war mindset. You feel me? Because the Most High is the one that's creating all of this. All right? We're girding up our loins. All right? We getting prepared in the spirit by reading this word and praying and having faith on Yahushua of what's to come. Okay? So with that, may Lord willing, I was edified. Till next time, shalom.